Massive drama on Bookstagram. Yes, they call it Bookstagram for these Instagram book influencers. This gal is Allie Hazelwood, and she's a huge author. Like, I mean, really, really huge. And I don't mean like she's fat. She doesn't look like she's fat. No, we're not going to bully Allie Hazelwood. This is kind of crazy. And people are kind of bullying her. Her reaction is over the top. Like, their reaction's over the top. It's just a big cluster. And it's exactly what social media has really become these days. I get hit with this a lot from influencers, I guess, trying to, like, crowd out the space of people that they disagree with. And nobody can just, like, listen to any other opinions anymore at all. If you even agree with 99% of things, but 1% of things you don't like, it's like, I hate you forever. And it's even over something stupid like an opinion over the Hunger Games at this point. It's that crazy. I'll talk about this. And in just a moment, please hit the like and subscribe button and join us here as we talk about all things in sci-fi and fantasy and books, my friends. I am a fantasy author myself. This is my YA Steampunk Adventure. I think you'll really love this if you're a fan of like Harry Potter and the like. It is an airship adventure where a crew goes out, quests against monsters. They fight in a war that's pretty big. I did the love triangle thing. I'm not gonna lie. It works. It's a good plot device. I have a big twist in it, though, that goes on throughout the course of the series, so check it out. It's in the description below, and thank you guys so much for supporting us, and gosh, this has been like one of the best week of sales I've ever had, all thanks to viewers like you, and it's available on ebook, print, and audio. So Allie Hazelwood, if you don't know who she is, because you probably are like me, and you read mostly fantasy, military science fiction, and the like, she is a romantic comedy author. And that doesn't mean she's a nobody. In fact, she's way, way more influential than I will ever be. And so this is it. You see 1.66 million ratings on Goodreads. Now, maybe there's a little higher proportion than usual, but I find that like to get people to leave reviews on my books. I've got 600 books here, 600 reviews, as you see. I've sold 30,000 plus copies of this book. So it's about a 2% indicator. I'd love for some of the viewers to add to that total on here. It helps a lot. But as you can see, this is crazy. So if it's 2%, that means like 100 million people are reading it. That's why I think it might be a little higher with this like group. Maybe the women's romantic comedy are more prone to be on Goodreads and leave reviews and things like that than my audience is, which is fine. But maybe it sold 10 million, maybe it sold 50 million. I mean, crazy. Regardless, she sold a lot of freaking books. This woman is on a yacht somewhere, and she probably doesn't need Instagram at this point. Now, she was at a panel for her deal and talking with some other creators on there, and they were talking about the Hunger Games. And the Hunger Games, you probably know that one. Actually, really good books, and I actually really like them. And they were talking about being Team PETA or Team Gale. And this is something that like the women book crowd do because they do have all these love triangles and all these books. And they start to identify with these fictional characters and which one, I guess, they would romance if he were real. It's kind of bizarre. Maybe that was the start of the downfall of our society. Because where did that actually start? It was with Twilight, Team Edward... or team, what was the other guy's name? I don't even remember. You could tell me in the description. Hey, if you remember, though, I'm going to judge you if you tell me in the description if you remember, though. Oh, my gosh. Sorry, I'm kind of sick, so I'm scatterbrained today. But that happened in Hunger Games too. Team PETA or Team Gale? Gale? I think his name's Gale. And she was on a panel, and she shouted out, eventually, PETA is useless. PETA is useless. And some black lady chimed in saying, what kind of man you know is going to allow for his woman to run away with him for his sometimes bacon side piece? The F? Yeah, she actually said the word. And everybody's laughing. Everybody's having a good time. It seems like a fun panel. And as much as this is a silly thing, like I said, it seems like a pretty fun panel. And everybody's enjoying themselves. That's what entertainment should be, right? So the moderator said, I have an arrow through my heart right now, of course, referencing Katniss as the protagonist. Remember, she shoots arrows. What are you guys talking about? And everybody's laughing again. Now it got crazy, and apparently this went viral on TikTok or BookTok or Bookstagram or both. And so all these women were just talking about this over and over and over again. So they were flooding her comments, and this happens all the time, like I said. I get this very regularly. And I had the gall to say, I don't like this video game because it has graphic underage gay sex in it that you like. I think that's a bad thing, and I'd like video games not to have that. Um, and this entire group of influencers who I think were paid by the video game company, because it's Embracer Group, they're a huge corporation, and they pay influencers for opinions, started going, it's not woke, you're a liar, and started getting their mob to kind of pile on me over this to cancel me. And it's like, I sat here and I'm like, I'm not on their feeds telling them what they should think about a video game. I'm just reporting it on my own feed on X. Why are you policing whether I like a video game or not? And this is exactly what's happening here with her. Why they're policing which character she should be in love with in a fantasy series. I mean, it's like, this is absurd. Now, at the same time, she overreacts and then, of course, tells people not to post in the responses. What you need to do in this situation, if you ever watch this, Allie Hazelwood, is just don't react, or just react on your own time, and don't, not like this. When you tell people what they're not allowed to do, they're gonna do it more, is what comes up every single time. So what I do when everybody's mad at me about that video game, which is really woke and gay, I just double down and I say it's really woke and gay. Sorry you're gay. And you just have to have fun on the internet. And if you don't have fun on the internet, it becomes a lot less fun, and it actually spirals into something more so. It's the only way to deal with it. I wish there was another way to deal with it, because if it'd be nice just to be allowed to have opinions and not have to have this weird societal thing where people are just so crazy at this point. But there are way too many people who are terminally online, and their sense of community and their sense of identity is tied into something as stupid as to whether you love PETA or love Gale, right? And that's retarded. It really is. But it's sad. It's sad, but you got to just let it go. And so if she didn't say something like this, if she didn't tell them what to do, it would have blown over in a couple weeks. You'd still get comments I'd get comments forever, believe me. But it's at the same time, like, it's not that many. Once the mob dies down, they move on to the next target, right? And so you just let it happen for a couple of weeks, laugh at it. It gets a little stressful, I'm not going to lie. But that's how you got to handle it. And so she says, okay, guys, I love you. You're totally entitled to your opinions. She was respectful and nice, and hating me for mine. But you feel the need to express them. Please don't do it under posts of mine, which other authors are added as collaborators. They deserve better than to wake up to this and more. Okay. And so even though it was nice, it is kind of passive-aggressive, and it is telling people what to do. That encourages them, unfortunately, today. And you could see, like, the comments that she's addressing as, like, they're really bad. She's Team Gale. Nothing good can mean that. And there's a little middle finger, which is ridiculous. But at the same time, like, it's not a threat or anything. Apologize for saying PETA is useless, because Suzanne Collins is writing critiques on the current state of our country, and you're writing Fae romance? Okay. Okay. Come on now, Allie, I love your books, but the hate on PETA is wild. He had a lot to do with cat. Again, she made a joke, so it's stupid, but none of these comments are threats or anything like that either to worry about or care about. At the same time, you have a account you've got a gazillion followers. Like, people are going to disagree with you when you have an opinion on anything. It gets really difficult, especially since I don't filter my opinions over here. It's pretty funny. And it does get this crazy, and this happens all the time to me. I can't believe I have to stop reading Allie's books now, because what do you mean? Exactly, I'm never touching her books again. I actually had this happen to me yesterday over a guy trying to cancel me, and actually posted. They went crazy too, same sort of thing. Here's where they like go wild. Where is this guy? There we are. So they try to gotcha me in a different way, and so this book was doing great, Justified in recent days, and this just to like go at me because he's mad. Let's see here, AI generated image, most likely AI written title and book. I'll pass. Yep, they always say like yep. Better for people to pirate your work than give you money, although it's better to ignore your work. And I'm like, and this guy was just joining a cancel mob because some guy was trying to attack me. It was kind of weird. And of course, I wrote this in 2019. I've got a wonderful artist named Amalia, who's a sweet gal who's like in her 20s, just does art, and she charges a pretty good amount per cover. It's beautiful. And again, like AI didn't exist when she made this cover, so it's really ridiculous. But this is what they do, right? And this is pretty normal. So you see this as much as you get this stuff, and as much as these people are unhinged and ridiculous, they're unhinged and ridiculous. This just exists. I don't know what to do about it. I don't have an answer. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you. I have a good community that typically doesn't fall for this stuff, though, if you want to join our Discord. But this is like something that's crazy. Now, the problem is she deleted her Instagram account in response. And apparently she boomered it, from what I could tell. Because another author said she's just technology inept, didn't know how to disable comments. So she did the only other option, delete it all. Actually, it wasn't the only other option. The main option would just be get off the internet for a couple of days and not respond, go do something else, post about something else. And, but unfortunately, like, it is tough. I mean, I get it. Women can't handle it, this kind of onslaught. I mean, a man can a little easier maybe. But it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of perseverance and the like. So sad she kind of gave them a victory on this. I would have recommended just not posting that story, telling people not to leave comments, and I would have recommended just not deleting your Instagram account and caring. You've got a promotional tool in an Instagram account. Just ignore it. But, I mean, it's also just so ridiculous that a mob can be riled up at the same time. This is a nuanced discussion. So she screwed up in giving in to the mob. But the mob is ridiculous and stupid, and we need to stop this kind of behavior as well. And that's it. So what do you think about this, guys? Leave a comment down below. Love to hear. Do you have a solution? Because I don't know what the solution is. I would love it. I think it's getting worse on the internet, unfortunately, and don't know what to do about it. Please check out my books, guys. Even if you don't agree with everything I said in this, or if I said a phrase that offends you or something like that, I hope you'll like my books anyway. It's enjoyable, and I appreciate you guys for being here. Thanks for making this a bestseller over and over and over again. It's in the description below. Ebook, print, and audio. We'll be back soon.